Hello, my most amazing artists, and welcome back to art class. This week, I am going to put you through step-by-step directions on how to make some beautiful daffodils. Now, these daffodils are on a bigger piece of paper. This was something that we made with a student when we were here in school. Now, you're probably working with a smaller piece of paper, so we're going to make a tinier version over here. Couple things that you're going to need for this project. You're going to need a piece of paper to draw on, pencil to draw your daffodils with, crayons or something to color with, but especially if you're using crayons, and if you happen to have some watercolor paint at home, I am going to show you how you can use your crayons and your blue watercolors to color your crayons so that you can paint right over them with the blue watercolor and they won't even stick to it because it's going to resist the wax that's in the crayons. So let's get started. The first thing that you're going to do is you are going to draw out your daffodils with pencil. They are very tall, so you want to take up the whole paper, but I'm going to do my flowers along the top here. I could probably fit about 2 or 3, especially if I decide that I want to overlap some of them. And the way that I draw daffodils is their petals kind of have little textures at the top. You could just do your best. You're just freehanding it. It's not going to look exactly like mine. But I'm going to do just kind of random flower petals that look like that. Maybe I might do a second one that's over here. Just kind of random. And I could leave it at 2, or if I wanted to, I could pretend that there was another one behind here. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to pretend that I have another daffodil behind here. I'm just going to kind of hide it back there, wherever you think it might be. All right, and for the stems and the leaves from each daffodil, I'm going to draw a stem that comes down, and I'm going to bring that stem all the way to the bottom of my paper. So one for my flower that is behind these two. Remember, you can't see it all that well, but that's okay. And one for my daffodil that is right here. And daffodils also have really tall, skinny leaves, kind of similar to like what tulips have. So I'm going to add some leaves. And now I am ready to color. Now, if you're going to be doing the watercolor resist, you want to make sure that when you're coloring pretty hard and you're really filling in the majority of all of your space, trying not to leave that much white space, because the more crayon you put down, the more that your watercolor paint is not going to stick. Once I've colored my daffodils with yellow, I'm going to take a little bit of orange and kind of do a little scribble around the middle, because actual daffodils have yellow petals, and then they also have smaller petals on the inside that almost create kind of like a little cup on the inside of the flower. So I can see it on these two. I'm not going to do it on the flower that's in the back because I can't really see it. And then I'm going to color my stems and my leaves green. And now my daffodils are all set for painting. Now, if you don't have paint at home, that's totally fine. You can just do everything with crayons and or colored pencils or markers, whatever works for you. But just in case you do have some watercolor paints on hand, I am going to add a little bit of that to my painting. Now, because I colored my crayon in so nice, look what happens when my paint hits my crayon. It kind of just beads up, and if it sticks to it a little bit, that's okay. But I'm just going to take my watercolor paint with my water and my brush, and I'm not going to worry about turning my flowers blue. A little bit gets on your flowers like that, that's totally okay. We can just brush it off. All right, if it's really bothering you, you can paint a little bit more carefully, but I'm not aiming to paint that carefully. I'm just taking my time and filling it in as I go. And that's how you do your daffodils. Remember, again, if you don't have paint at home, that's okay. You can simply draw and color them just with whatever you have. But if you happen to have some crayons and some watercolor paint, I encourage you to change it up a little bit and, give it a try with painting your background with watercolor. So you might be surprised. Doing watercolor resists is really, really fun, and I love doing them whenever I can with a project. So don't forget to take a picture of your daffodils when you're done and send it to me so I can see your finished work. And I can't wait to see your beautiful daffodils, and we can start thinking spring here in art class. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.